Hi there, welcome to our Visible Light paper slide video. This is brought to you by Roshni Thamator, Bijou Gordon, and Ruth C. Tapia Cruz. Before we jump into things, let me give you the basics you need to know about visible light. Visible light is the light that can be seen by humans. More specifically, you see the light that is not absorbed by objects. What are the colors in visible light? Well, it's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. You can remember it by the simple name, Roy G. Biv. Mirrors reflect all colors of visible light. How does the color of light relate to its frequency and wavelength? Well, the wavelength and frequency of light are closely related. The higher the frequency, the shorter the wavelength. Because all light waves move through a vacuum at the same speed, the number of wave crests passing by at a given moment in 1 second depends on the wavelength. That number, also known as the frequency, will be larger for a short wavelength wave than for a long wavelength wave. In this animation, wavelength and frequency are passing through a space, which acts as the vacuum. How is light transmitted? Transmission of light is the moving of electromagnetic waves through a material. The transmission can be reduced or stopped when light is reflected off the surface or absorbed by the molecules in the material. In this animation, two light signals are being transmitted, light signal 1 and light signal 2. What is the relationship between wavelengths of the electromagnetic spectrum and color? If you think about it, every different color in the electromagnetic spectrum has a different wavelength. That's the relationship between them. The visible colors from shortest to longest are violet, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. The white light is a mixture of the colors of the visible spectrum. Black is the total absence of light. In this animation, every different color has a different wavelength. The visible red light has a wavelength of about 650 nanometers. The visible orange light has a wavelength of about 500 nanometers. The visible yellow light has a wavelength of about 570 nanometers. The visible green light has a wavelength of about 510 nanometers. The visible blue light has a wavelength of about 475 nanometers. And the visible violet light has a wavelength of about 400 nanometers. Did you catch all of that? I know, it's a lot of information. Let's summarize. Just remember all of these points. Visible light is the light that is not absorbed by objects. You can remember all the colors in visible light by this name, Roy G. Biv. The higher the frequency, the shorter the wavelength. Transmission of light is the moving of electromagnetic waves through a material. Every different color in the electromagnetic spectrum has a different wavelength. Thanks for watching, and we hope you learned a lot.